coming into this live late. I was doing another live with my favorite Arna. We were talking about the Grammys fashion, and I could talk to Arna forever, and it just ran over. My deepest apologies. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. So won't you come on in the room? Everybody saying, come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. I said, we got so much to talk about. I said, we got so much to talk about. So won't you come on in the room? Come on! How we all doing, Star fam? How are we doing? How are we doing? Oh, thank you so much, Shonda. Shonda's on it. Shonda said, hey, y'all, Nikki will now start this live at 9:30 Eastern Standard. Thank you, Shonda, for being on it. I could talk to Arnold forever. Hey, Shamiko. Shamiko said, night, Nikki. Chat, waiting on this review. I don't watch any of these shows, but I love the reviews. Also here to support. Thank you. Love from St. Kitts. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, my oily T-zone, she does not play. No smile lines yet. But y'all know, listen, I'm not a BBL girl, but I might be a Botox one. We'll see. I ain't got my Hollywood money yet. I ain't got my Hollywood. And if I look a little different, just be like, she's always looked like that. Hey, Baka. Hey, Black Lavender. Black Lavender said, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, everyone. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Thank you, Shonda, for keeping everybody, abreast on what's going on. Hey, Bianca. Sarah said, hey, NikkiNicoleStar fan, back again. Kai said, hello, everyone, doing my nails and watching. Thank you, Kai. Miss C said, back like we never left. Simply Simone said, the girls are keeping us busy. Like, what's going on with Atlanta? Now I'm getting nervous. I've been asking them to switch it up. Now I'm nervous, right? I was actually going to start early, but we've had like a rainstorm here in LA, and my apartment was flooded. So I had to take care of all that. If you only see the contraption that I have up to like take care of that. I wanted to do this earlier, but it was just not possible. Hey, Obi, how are you? How are you? I know, too long. Hey, Spency, thanks for being here again. Hey, Lovey. Hey, it's Latasha. Hey, Tia Bia. What's up? Thank you all so much for being here. I love this. Hey, Drea Loving Life said, hey, NikkiStar mods and Star family. Josie said, find out where the New York housewives go for their work. You will look fab and natural. Thank you. I think I don't want to start too soon. I feel like the girls today, the Gen Zers, they start far too soon. It looks scary. I think I might start like my mom. Well, you know what? I can't go based off my mom, but my mom got like 3 wrinkles. How the hell she do that? I don't know. I might start in my 60s. I'm going to wait. I think I might get something done in the 60s. We'll see. Oh my God. Will I still be on YouTube? Who knows? Listen, thank you so much. But I'm like, I'm not that girl to be like, oh no, be who you are, stay natural. No, if I could look like, if I could look like I'm at least, a good 45 at 72, I'm going to do it. I need to know what in the hell is Tracy Chapman's secret. I think her secret is no men or children. I think that's what it is. I think it's the lack of men in her life. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that one, Tracy. Sorry. I love from Tall and Chocolate. I'm in trouble. Hey, Deconcy, how are you? Obi said, anyone else low-key happy Kandi ain't back on Atlanta? I don't know if I'm necessarily happy. We will talk, or high-key. Messy. Hey, Max Data, how are you? Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So we have a lot to talk about. So I think what I'm first going to do is get into the Potomac review, because I feel like the other stuff that I'm going to talk about, we're going to discuss a bit more. So I want to get that out. I feel like Potomac is going to be the longest. Not that long, because I don't have a lot of notes for Potomac. Oh, what's going on with me in my notes today? But we will talk about everything else. So let's get into our girl Nneka. Ooh, she had a rough episode, didn't she? Yikes, girl! I was talking to you through the screen. I was telling you this wasn't the way to go. This was not the way to go. So Nneka, who let's keep it buck, brought xenophobia to this show when she could have been celebrating her culture in Wendy's, but that didn't happen because you were so desperate to be put on, and this is what happens, and this is the decision that you made. So I feel like Nneka is starting to realize, like I said before, that she is not in as many scenes as she wants, and you're only going to get paid by this contract through how many scenes you are in and how long you were in those scenes. Like, you are not going to get paid for just appearing in a flashback. You'll make a little something, but you need to actually be acting, performing, and starring in a scene to get paid. And that scene has to actually make the episode. So I think she's realizing she probably aligned herself with the wrong team, because Giselle ain't calling her to film. Ashley ain't calling her to film. Robin ain't calling her to film, but they're all calling each other to film, right? We keep on getting bombarded with G&A, right? Yeah, Giselle and Ashley's clothing line, but they're getting paid for those scenes. Nneka, she's filming with her cousin and her sister, who we know nothing about. We only know them through a flashback picture with Wendy. So there's not much there, and there's not much to invest in, because Nneka came in as a sniper trying to take out Wendy, but she didn't introduce herself to the audience. She didn't let us know who she is. She did not invite us to anything that she had going on, because her sole purpose was to be an attack dog for Giselle and go after Wendy. Now, that might not be it, Nneka, but that is what it looks like, right? We don't know anything about you, and this is your first season, and there is not enough about you for us to want to invest in you. I pray that it turns around for you later in the season, or maybe even at the reunion, that you give us a little something. But when you are a new housewife and this is your first season, you have got to be interesting. You're so busy trying to buddy up to Giselle and Ashley. You should have been trying to buddy up to Mia. She had an outstanding first season. That's why she's still here. We don't know anything about you. We need to be interested in you to want to invest in you for another season, but you just haven't given us that. And it's sad to really see that you realize that you made some bad choices this season, and now you're trying to fix it with the one person you should have been working with, because it would have been so interesting to have your fellow Nigerian sister introduce you and show you the ropes of this group. Yeah, I'm not telling you to be no flunky, but it would have been nicer to see a different relationship with you and Wendy than the one that you brought on. You see, the whole witch storyline, not only did it fall flat, it put a wedge in between you and Wendy, because now she does not want to create a relationship with you, because not only did you come after her, but your main target was her mama. And you're putting out her mom is a witch on this Christian American platform. Let's keep it buck, right? The viewers of this are Black American Christians, the majority of them, right? Our minds have been poisoned by white supremacist Christianity. So you throwing out that white supremacist dog whistle that Wendy's mama is a witch just works against you in so many ways, because you thought it was going to be a target for Wendy and her mom, which it is. It's absolutely bringing up xenophobia and ignorance. But then the audience is now looking at you like, why would you even do something like, why would that be your target? So we're getting to know you, and now we don't trust you. And that might affect if we see you ever again. You got to pull a Mia. If it is your first season, study that girl. Study Mia. She had a phenomenal debut season. And this is so unfortunate for you, because now you're like groveling up to Wendy and trying to make it work. And I just want to sit down and have a conversation with you. You're not raising your voice at her anymore. You're not calling her cuss words anymore. You're not being as sassy as you used to be, because you realize now, I think you finally figured it out, that you were used. Because Giselle and them don't want to be bothered with you. They don't. The only time you see them is when Karen invites you to something. You would not have been in this episode had Wendy not invited you to this party. This is a job. Y'all got to learn how to maneuver this thing. Y'all coming on this thing too green, and you were getting messed up every time. Don't know nothing about you. Saw your husband, what, twice? And the second time we saw him, he was trying to fight lovable Eddie. You're just starting off so wrong. Speaking of lovable Eddie, let's get into the Happy Eddie Weed party. So here's the thing. I think that it is genius for Eddie and Wendy to pull off this, to pull off the branding and the marketing that they're doing now with Happy Eddie Weed. I think it's very smart. I will say, as an 80s baby and a 90s kid, somebody who grew up in the Philadelphia inner city during that time, the drug epidemic was wild. It was wild. Like you would just, people would be here and then they would not be. If AIDS didn't take them out, crack did, and if crack didn't take them out, the drug game took them out. So it's just so crazy to see now how weed is legalized, knowing that there was like that my city was dropping bodies over weed. So it's like, it's still just weird to get into that this is like a legal thing that everybody is doing and nobody's getting shot over. It's just so crazy to like digest that. But I will say, not something I would do just because of my, my introduction to that, to that plant. But I think it's very smart. I think it's very smart. They took something that was used against them, and they not only made it into a business, but I think they're marketing Happy Eddie very smart. I also think that if they continue down this road, they both could be extremely successful. The marketing, smart. Happy Eddie, I think it was, what was the other one? It was like a mellow Eddie, and then a Zen Win. So smart because there's already branding behind that. Very, very smart. I will say, I was just like, how do you have a weed party with no weed? But then I looked it up. You can't film drug use, real drug use, for any show, a show or movie. It's illegal to do that in America. So they couldn't film it. They had to use oregano. And I think Wendy and Eddie used this as this scene where they could not use actual weed or have anybody try their weed. They used it as a way to at least get a commercial out there. I understand that, and I think it still was very smart, but I kind of think that they would have had a better debut if they infused the weed in other things, like in lotions and lip gloss, things that people could not necessarily consume, because that would have been an issue as well. You can't do drugs or consume them, but if you're putting it in a lotion, if you're putting it in a lip gloss, that's very smart because you're also marketing this to women. You could have brought somebody in to talk about anxiety and how this helps them. The lotion helps them, and they put it on their chest or on their neck, or they put it on their lips, and they're Zen Win. There was a better way to market it. I think you have a really smart business plan here. The marketing kind of fell flat for me, but I understand the obstacles that you had to go through with actually filming, not being able to film drug use on this show. But there was a smarter way, in my opinion, to do that. But I think it's really smart. I think it's really, really smart to do and to market it to this audience. And if Bravo is getting a cut, you better sell the hell out of that Happy Eddie weed at BravoCon. You better get the lotions and lip gloss and hairsprays ready. But very smart, very smart. This business plan was birthed out of Giselle and Robin coming up with this storyline that not only did Eddie cheat on Wendy, he had a secret baby. None of that was found to be true. And this business came as a result of this. Smart. Make your enemies your footstool. Karen, what's up with Karen and Mia? I don't know what happened this episode. I do not know what happened this episode. Karen Robin didn't come. Giselle didn't come. They all sent you messages as well. Why did you come for Mia like that? Like, I do not understand. Karen was like guns blazing, calling Mia a trick. She was really upset with her because everybody came together. Everybody was invited. Even Nneka, Wendy extended the olive branch to her to come to the Happy Wedding weed tasting or debut or whatever. Karen comes there and she's like, "Hey, everybody, Mia, I would like to talk to you. Why didn't you come?" And Mia's just like, "Well, I didn't want to be invited the way that you invited me. I didn't like that. If I'm not the first invite, like, I'm not going to be like a second string invite." And then Karen responds, "Oh, darling, you're not second string. You're not even a last string. I didn't even really want to invite you." Like, why? I don't know why she was so turned up on Mia. It was very confusing to me. I'm like, what did Mia do to get you like this, Karen? I couldn't make that out, and she would not let up. She's a trick. And then she's revealing that Mia is sleeping with the married man and dating other people. Nneka, listen up. I hope you were paying attention instead of drinking all your damn shams. When Karen was coming for Mia and she was saying all these things about her, Mia said, "Well, yes, that's true." Gagged everybody, even me. Gagged everybody. Mia was just like, "Well, he's not a rapper, but I am dating somebody." And everybody was like, "Girl, what?" She was like, "Yeah, and the other guy, I'm not sleeping with him, but I am, I'm opening up some options." Gagged. Everybody was gagged. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, Nneka. That's how you do it. This was the one thing about Mia that was so good watching her, or still good, so great watching her. She admits everything. You're not going to come to me with no tea, and she don't clear it. She's just like, "Yeah, I was out there in the streets. Yeah, I was doing that. Yeah, I slept with my husband for money. My current husband. Yeah, I slept with him for money. He was married when we got together." Like, you're not going to burn her with her own tea. You're just not going to do that. So she gagged everybody there. But I guess this is now going to lead into how probably we're going to see the new man that she's currently dating on the next season. That opens up the door to that, and opens up the door as well for the divorce to now take precedence. She's really smart. She really does plan out her storyline in a gag worthy, partially authentic way, but it's interesting. I want to know more about her. I don't know anything about Nneka, and I don't want to know anything at this point. You see what I'm saying? But Mia, now I'm like, who's the doctor that you're not sleeping with, but that you're dating while you're still married to G? What's going on? What is the conversation that you and G are having about this relationship now being in an open arrangement, right? Because she sat down with G, and they were talking about, if they were to have issues, and G was just like, "All you got to do is come to me. You don't have to cheat. All you have to do is come to me, and we can work something out, right? We can figure it out." She's like, "What are you talking about, G?" And he's like, "Just if there's anything, just come and talk to me, because this is the arrangement. We can have an arrangement. If this is what you need from me, let's go." Because Mia was also saying, "Listen, there's the money is funny. You just said some things to your family, and now they're cutting you off financially, and it's affecting me." Letting him know that the arrangement that we previously set up, you trying to talk about another arrangement, the arrangement that we previously set up ain't working for me. I don't have a nanny. My home is smaller. You're not tricking on me the way you used to trick on me. That was the arrangement. Basically letting him know that you are not fulfilling your end of the deal. So why should I start fulfilling mine? That's why I'm thinking about divorce and pursuing other partners. Who else is delivering like this on this freaking show? Nobody. Nobody. This is how you do a debut season, Nneka. Study this girl. If you get enough, if Bravo is nice enough, if they extend an olive branch like Wendy, you better study Mia's seasons, because she knows how to do it. But again, I don't know why Karen came for Mia so hard. Very, very weird. Very, very weird. Let's get into Giselle, the Lisa Rinna of this show. It's time for a pause. She's not happy. So because she's not happy, nobody else can be happy around her. When Wendy at the Happy Eddie event was just like, I'm so glad that everybody was laughing, that we were all having a good time. We all haven't laughed and had a good time like this before. And I'm glad that we were all able to do it. Something really fun, really positive. Giselle, I wasn't laughing. Did y'all see me laughing? Who said I was having a good time? Why are you here? Why are you here? And then production plays you and shows you laughing at the event. Why did you come? I mean, I know why you came, but it's just like, this was the fun moments that we, the viewers, want, and it's finally happening. And you just had to be a killjoy. Also, why come to the girls' event if you're not going to speak to her? And I know that production was trying to show that Wendy does the same thing that Giselle does, but what they left in was when Wendy walked over, I think Karen was next to her. When she walked over to hug Karen and Giselle was right next to her, Giselle moved away. So already letting Wendy know she did not want to interact with her. And Giselle does that every time. If Wendy comes somewhere, she moves away. She leaves out the room. She just doesn't show up. So it's not equal. It's not equal the way Wendy says hi to Giselle or the way Giselle says no hi to Wendy. It's not equal. So even in the own footage that this show used when they're trying to show that Wendy does the same thing as Giselle, you failed because you showed us Giselle moving to the side, not wanting to speak to her, turning off her body, turning her body away from her. Her body language showed that she did not want to be invited to Wendy. Wendy was very open as Giselle was coming around, ready to receive her. Even if she didn't like her, this is her man's event. She's not going to do no mess. Giselle was the one that rejected her. Why come? And Wendy better than me. Wendy is better than me. I do not care if we're filming this show and we need all the butts in the seat. You're not coming here to my event and not saying nothing to me. I would have been like, if you can't speak, then you can click them ankles, right, them cankles, right out of my event. And I would have got her check cut short for that scene that day. Like, why come? You're gonna be miserable. Chris ain't said nothing to you, but you got something to say about Chris. Why are you looking at his body? Why are you looking at him so much that you notice that he's gained a little bit of weight? Why are you laughing that he's stressed when you know why he's stressed? Because of the things that you insinuated about him. This is a nasty work, and you are falling into nasty Lisa Rinna territory, and it's time for you to have a pause. No shade, but you OGs got to be humble. You OGs got to be humble. You are not interesting to watch anymore. Y'all do not deliver anything. Like, what is Giselle delivering? It's not fashions. It's not the core. It's not the core rum. It's just mean and nasty and not enjoyable. You keep on going after this girl that's paying you dust. It doesn't look right. And if you had a season where colorism was brought up by not just the fan base, the white man that signs your checks even brought it up, why would you continue to go after the one person and treat the one person that your treatment of them ignited this whole conversation? You're not thinking. So maybe you don't need this check. Maybe this is how you show up because this check isn't important to you. Now, if you don't need this check and you don't need this job, let's try something else. Let's move on from here because your job is to entertain us and you're not doing that. You're actually turning a lot of people off from this show by your nastiness. I do not care if y'all do not get along in real life. The job is an ensemble job. Y'all all have to work together to give us an entertaining show. If you don't feel like you can do that, then let's move on. Let somebody who's hungry, who needs this check, or who doesn't need the check and just wants to have a good time, occupy this space. Why are you making it a hard environment for everybody? Robin can't get along with anybody if she wanted to. Because of you. Just go, man. Just go. Also, real quick, speaking of Mia, I want to talk about how these transactional relationships, you always got to pay a price. You always got to pay a price. Mia did all that homeworking, all that tricking and all that stuff with this man, and now she's in a situation where it's just not panning out. I honestly believe she thought that she was going to be with this man, and so he got old, he died, and he left everything to her. Now he has nothing, no assets, nothing to. They're renting everything, nothing to his name because everything is wrapped up in this job, right? So the big fish that you thought you snagged has ran out of resources. And now at your big age with children, you got to go back to tricking again. It's the only thing about these transactional relationships. You're going to pay a bigger price. You're going to pay a bigger price. And at the end of the day, the purses, the trips, the lavish life just will not be enough because you never know when it's going to come crashing down. Mia's dealing with it. Erica Jane is dealing with it. None of it seems to be worth it at this point. I'm not saying I'm not saying struggle with the man you love. You can hustle with a man you like, rather than getting up under something you don't want to get up under on just so you could have a nice condo. That's not forever. Got to pay a price eventually, unfortunately. NECA. So NECA has a unboxing housewarming party. Listen, I don't know. I don't know if this is like a new thing. Forgive me if it's cultural. Don't invite me to your house to unbox your boxes. Like, no. I'm your friend. I'm your guest, not the help. I'll come to a housewarming party and bring a gift, but I'm unboxing the boxes you packed and putting stuff away. I'm not a mover. I'm a guest. So anyway, NECA has this party, and at Wendy and Eddie's Happy Eddie event, she pulled Wendy to the side, thanked her. NECA was very different. The way she was speaking, so kind, low voice. I just want to really thank you for extending the olive branch. I really appreciate it. I think it was so nice for you to do that, but you didn't have to invite me. Well, you did. And I just want to let you know, I really think that's so cool. This is really cool. This is really, really nice. I'm so happy for you guys. I would really love to sit down with you and talk and have a nice conversation. You're a totally different person. Weren't you just about to fight her, you and your husband? We're about to jump on her husband? Who is this girl? You see what happened? We told you not to rock with them. We tell all you new girls not to rock with them. They will be loyal to each other. They will never be loyal to you. You do not have the look for them to care about your well-being on this show or your existence. You will always be the help if it's ever concerning them. Wake all the way up. So now she wants to sit down with Wendy and have a conversation, and she invites her to her event. So Wendy doesn't come to NECA's unboxing, be a mover for a day event. She doesn't come. And if I was Wendy, I wouldn't come either. Here's why. It looked like an ambush. I'm going to keep it buck. If I don't like you, I'm not coming to your home where I know you'll probably have family or whatever there. It don't feel safe. I'll meet you on an equal playing field at an event, that's hosted by one of the housewives, or even if you're hosting an event, I'll meet you out at the event. I'm not coming to your home and you don't like me. So can you imagine Wendy coming there with, I believe her name is Levy, and NECA's sister, who've been talking crap about her, feeding NECA information to say on the show about her. They're already prepared and ready for her to come. Even NECA's sister said, as long as she plays nice, it's a setup, it's an ambush. I wouldn't go either. It was very smart for her not to go, because why are y'all there? Other than to start some mess, other than to expose Wendy for something and have her do a gotcha moment with her. Because NECA, you're now trying to make nice with Wendy, so you're not going to say anything. But who's going to say everything? Your sister and your cousin that don't like her. Very smart of her to not show up. Very smart of her to not show up. So you and your cousins, your cousin and your sister, y'all don't get a moment. Y'all don't get a moment off of her back. Y'all been trying to get a moment the whole time. And y'all was going to set her up and ambush her in front of Giselle, who was already putting a battery in your back to start some crap with her. And you didn't get your moment. Smart on Wendy. Smart on Wendy's part. I don't know who in production told her that it was going to be an ambush, but smart for her to not show up to that. I wouldn't show up either. And now Nneka is in a situation where, so sad to say, she going to grovel for this girl to trust her again. And we see in the trailer where Wendy is just like, the problem with me and you started when you called my mother a witch. Listen, that's not my culture, but you're not calling my mom a witch. You're not calling my mom a witch. Because I'm going to take that a certain way. I'm going to take that a certain way. And me and you, it's just not going to work. I don't know any sane person who is going to want to move forward, especially with a coworker who come after their mama. It wasn't a smart move. It wasn't a smart move. And I guarantee you listen to an American with that storyline. Because I just don't believe that you will come on TV with that. Some ignorant, xenophobic American gave you that storyline and you ate it up, knowing the results of that, because you probably experienced that on American soil as well. This is such a bad debut, girl. That's so unfortunate. And y'all know I've been praying. Like, I've been saying these shows need to have different experiences of Blackness, right? Because America is a melting pot, but it's also a melting pot of Blackness, right? There's so many different cultures concentrated within American Blackness alone, right? You have Black Americans and you have the Black immigrant experience. And I think that's a very important story to tell. But some of y'all be too thirsty and y'all just messed it up. Book with me. I would have told you this, Nneka. I would have told you this. Karen having Robin in her folder. Karen's like, Karen has a picture of Robin with her parents and her kids and on her phone and like a folder that says Robin. And Robin talks about it in front of the ladies and Karen tries to explain it. And Karen's just like, oh, well, I like Robin's parents. And I have a folder of pictures of them. And the Karen, it was a terrible way to explain this, right? And I realized you explained it that way because you got caught, right? Because Robin saw basically the file that Karen has on her. And Karen has a file on each and every one of them. She has pictures. She has documents. She got a file on each and every one of them. And I'm pretty sure they all have a file on her. And that's just how you do it, right? That's how she stays on her toes, right? That's how she stays ahead of the game with these girls, holding on to their tea and dropping that tea when it's convenient for you. She dropped some tea in this episode on the wrong person, though, because you can't burn Mia with her own tea. It's not going to happen. She'll admit it and give you an additional detail. Maybe it'll work with Robin and Giselle, but it won't work for Mia. But basically, I think that Karen got caught. Karen got caught and she did not know how to explain it. She explained it poorly. So, they found your secret folder that you have on everybody. Do better. Never show your phone to one of them housewives ever again. That's all I wanted to say. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. Wait, I got some super chats. Mer, thank you for the super chat. Mer said, hi, Nikki. Glad to catch another live. I think we're the same age, geriatric millennials, and I also am avoiding Botox. Geriatric millennial, Mer. Excuse me. I'm 27. How dare you? Thank you so much for the super chat. DM Rocks, what's up? Said, hey, did you hear about George Clooney's ex-girlfriend rumored to be a what? Is she black? No shade. I don't want a white person on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kim Zolciak, she closed that door. She closed that door for any white person, non-black person on this show. The far as I'll go is a biracial. And they got to have one black person and one quadroon parent. She messed that up. I don't have anything about that. I didn't see anything. I didn't get that tea. Send it to me on thank you, DM Rocks. Send it to me on Instagram. I'll check it out. Hey, Decon C, thank you so much for the super chat. Decon C said, in addition to xenophobia, accusing someone of witchcraft could get. Oh no, I didn't know that the accused unalive in many African cultures. Oh, that's terrible. The accusation could also impact Wendy's family in Nigeria. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Listen, in the Christian community, Black American Christian community, it won't get you unalive, but it'll get you ostracized. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's unfortunate. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Hey, Fareed, how are you? Thank you for being here. Obi said, yeah, Nneka played herself in the worst way. It's so upsetting. Xenophobia against your own culture. Yikes. Like a flunky to the max. A flunky to the max. Fareed said, Nneka finally made an effort, but I guess Wendy ain't seeing for her. So too late, I guess. Yeah, it's too late. You came in guns blazing. She came in so hard. And it was like, I don't see her moving forward with you. There's nothing. You have not given her anything about you to make her want to know more. You've just straight attacked her. You messed yourself up. Naive Evian said, I heard that the witchcraft is worse in Nigerian cultures than we were assuming. Wendy might never forgive her. Oh my gosh. Nigerian subscribers, is that true? BY said, Potomac is dying, in my opinion. I happen to agree. Watching a show drenched in colorism on top of xenophobia is too much in one season. Yep. Obi said, so I don't like Nneka in any percentage or capacity, in turn, might not have anything good to say about her. So most times I'd rather not say anything. LOL, just a heads up. Well, thank you. Because you've said a lot. You've said a lot. Thank you so much. Fareed also said, I think too much behind the scenes and that they can't break the fourth wall too much. So it's just so confusing. I hope they clear it up at the reunion. Me too. Hey, give me shelter. Absolutely. She came in guns blazing. Guns blazing. Some people said if Wendy was white, any witchcraft allegations would be treated like this. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you as a black person not only as a black person, a person from the same culture, you give validity to this baseless argument when you are having the discussion with people who are not of your culture, right? Because you saying that is making people who don't know anything about your culture believe that this is actually true. So it's Nneka just crossed so many lines so early. Poor thing. Sierra said Robin needs to stop playing and start her linebacker apparel with Mia since they want a key about Eddie's business. I'm like, neither one of y'all need to be talking about anybody's husband. Like, neither one of you have the right. Just delusional Barbies. Oh, I know, but I'm just talking about back in the day when it was illegal. Oh, people was dying over that weed. People was dying over that weed, execution style. Give Me Shelter said, yeah, girl, I was right over the bridge in Camden, the 80s and the 90s. Yes. It's just so crazy now. Like, I'm still gagged. I'm just still gagged when I live in LA. Like, there's legal weed use all the time, but it still just gags me. I'm like, oh my God. Are you ready to die? Like, don't do that. Oh my goodness. But you know why they had to do it. You can't film it on TV. You can't film it. They should have went about it in a different way if they wanted a commercial for their show. Hey, Miss Brown Sugar, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I think it will. I think it will. Listen, I would never do anything about that just because of the trauma that I have from, growing up around that kind of stuff. I would never engage in it. I would never support it in any kind of way. I will say that with Black people being the most incarcerated over selling a plant or whatever, a drug that is now legal, if we're going to be the face of the incarceration for this product, I want us to be the face of the success that you can have legally with selling this product. Yeah, they were. I like watching them. That's the thing. I enjoy watching them. I've never seen Nneka with her husband. She still hasn't unboxed boxes from a home she moved in 2 years ago. Something is up. Let's start there. Let's investigate that. Something is up. Gibby Shelton said, but didn't they film a weed party this season on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? And they were eating gummies last year when Crystal and Erica were going at it. Well, weed is legal. Weed is legal in LA. I know it's probably legal there in Potomac, but because with the entertainment industry, you have a bit more leeway that you can do, but you still can't be filmed doing it. But talking about eating a gummy or talking about the food, even with the weed infused party, we didn't really see them eat anything. We heard them talk about the effects that they were having after eating it. We never really saw anybody consuming, but we did see them wiping their mouth after consuming. You got to be really tricky with it, but in LA, there's just a bit more leeway. Very true. Very, very, very true. Ms. Brown Sugar said, I haven't seen this episode yet, but apparently the recreational marijuana law had not become effective until July 2023. I know they film in spring and summer, September, so not sure if that's why. That's probably why. Thank you. Thank you. I've been scared. I've been putting all kinds of product in it. The front is still giving me problems, but at least this side is starting to shrink up again. So God is good. God is good. Thank you so much, Spency. That made my night. You are very right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But they did start the Giselle did start the baby out of wedlock line, or like the secret baby line. No way. No way. Absolutely not. Absolutely. You cannot do real drugs. Absolutely not. And I'm pretty sure that Bravo's insurance had to clear that. But again, LA, there's a bit more leniency there, but just because it's the entertainment capital of the world, there's some loopholes that you could jump through, but I guarantee you it's not actually weeding there and Sutton was acting. Yes, I was so shocked. I'm like, Karen, what am I missing? What am I missing? Oh, really? Obi said Mia did something that you would see on the last episode of the previous season. But Karen was mad about this. That was just weird. But Mia got her together. Black Lambert said Karen been holding that grudge against Mia ever since last season when she said, oh, really? Okay, so maybe that's why she wanted to drop that tea that Mia was seeing other men. Great TV. Great TV. Great TV. Same. This is the thing. I do not like what she did to Wendy. I really do not like what she did. I don't like them putting their hands on each other. That's not what this show is. This ain't Bad Girls Club. I do not like that. I have to give honor where honor is due. I think she's an exceptional housewife. An exceptional housewife. Did I believe that she should have at least been put on pause for trying to assault Wendy? Absolutely, and I'm going to stand by that. They need to have standards on this freaking show. And Monique just ushered in a violence that is still lingering over the show, and they need to kill that immediately. and didn't flinch. And didn't flinch. I'm going to get two more, then we're going to move on to our next subject. Lovey said, I'm like Mia. And so far as owning my S, I knew that in high school I was popular for a reason. I couldn't be played, burned, or embarrassed. That's why you either like me or hate me. Smart. It's the best way to go. It's the best way to go. Don't let nobody spray you with your own tea. Burn it before they get the chance. Shonda said, please subscribe to Nikki's second channel, Nikki'Star at Home. Thank you all so much. JG said, G and Mia clearly have an arrangement. My brow was up the whole combo. Yes. Yes. I felt like they already had a previous arrangement. And I felt like when Mia brought up divorce, G brought up an arrangement amendment. Basically saying, we don't have to separate. We can work something out. But Mia wants to be out. There's no more money. Why would she be making out with you and sucking on your dentures as they roll around in your mouth? If not for money. You don't have that anymore. So why is she staying? The game is the game. The game is the game. NC said production choosing to only show flashbacks of Wendy not saying hi to Jiz instead of showing the truth. Yep. That G started by originally subbing Wendy last season when she went up to her. Yeah. I was just like, y'all acting like we didn't watch that episode and we didn't know what happened. That doesn't even hold weight. The receipt that y'all using helps Wendy. Ridiculous. Give Me Shelter said Giselle has killed the Real Housewives of Potomac. I hear more people saying they watch reviews of the show than actually watch the show. Palm Color people love her mediocrity, though, so Potomac is just a show I used to watch. I will say the Alabasters are now saying it's time for her to go. They're saying it. And it's just like, listen, just like Lisa Rinna, take a pause. You don't enjoy the show anymore. When Lisa pulled that to Andy, it was just like, I'm quitting the show. And he said, yeah, I agree with that. He said, I think you're right. It's time for you to go. If you're not having fun, why are you there? Why are you there? It's just so rude, especially in the Black community. That's rude. You don't come nowhere and not speak. NC said G has the unmitigated gall to not greet Wendy and Eddie at their own event. Evil. And then always feigns ignorance when she's called a colorist. Giselle needs to be fired ASAP. I wouldn't fire her. I would just say, give her a pause. Give her a pause. Give her 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons to figure out what she wants to do. And if she wants to come back, let her know you have to be enjoyable. This is a job. This is the job. Oh, right away. You don't speak to my husband? And now you don't speak to me? You got to go. You got to go. You have to go. I'm going to come back to those comments. I want to move on to our girl, Candiace. She got a victory. She got a victory. Oh, what happened? Hold on. Where is the picture? StreamYard, are you playing with me? There she is. This thing. Let me take this comment down. Oh, there it is. I'm a one-woman show. Hold on, guys. All right, our girl Candiace looking beautiful as always. Candiace Dillard Bassard has been embroiled in a lawsuit with the estranged husband of her Real Housewives of Potomac co-star Ashley Darby. Michael Darby filed a lawsuit against the singer in 2023, accusing her of defamation. Recently, the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that is the final judgment and cannot be tried again. The judge ruled in Bassett's favor because Darby signed a release to appear on the Real Housewives of Potomac reality TV show together, making his lawsuit contradictory. Spurring on much of Dillard Bastard's fighting with Robin Dixon this season, she kept quiet about the case with Darby to make sure she did not get into further trouble on the matter. She listened to her lawyer, smart woman. Now Dillard Bastard is talking about how she was grateful to her legal team for winning this battle. I'm incredibly grateful to God for protecting me, she says. I am also grateful for common sense, the support of my family, and my incredible legal team for helping the plaintiff to get exactly what he deserved from me. Absolutely nothing. Bassett's legal team is also celebrating the win. Bynum and Jenkins Law is honored to have represented Miss Bassett and assist in defending her name against these allegations. The lawsuit Michael filed against Candiace was born out of her comments about him while she was in a heated battle with Ashley. Michael wanted $2 million plus interest and legal fees for the case. Whether this will be talked about at the reunion of the season of the Real Housewives of Potomac, we may never know. She won. Here's the thing. I never talked about it because I was waiting for the outcome. But I know these contracts. Michael never had a case. So I never thought that he was suing her because he thought he would win. I think he was suing her out of to be an inconvenience, right? To at least take some money from her because he has a lot of money. He's a rich guy, right? I think he was doing it to be an inconvenience, to stress her out, to give her a hard time, and to take money away from her because she had to pay, her lawyers or whatever to fight this case, lawyers and publicists and things like that to fight this case. He never had a lawsuit. You cannot sue people for what is said on a reality TV show. It's in your contract. You cannot do that. And he also put himself in a place where Bravo or the production company may never ask for him to come back because they are really against cast members suing each other because what they feel is that puts a damper on the show and makes people uncomfortable to really say or really go for the jugular because they always feel like they're going to be sued, so they're not really going to perform. So it's in the contract, right? You can't say all these things on this show and then later try to sue someone. Now, if it does not happen on camera or on the show, then you have a case. But the things that you do on this show, it is scripted. Right? Lightly scripted. That's why it's able to be called reality TV because things are suggested, situations are set up, and then what comes out of that may not be scripted, but the environment, the arguments, the topics are all scripted. So you cannot say that you did not like what was said to you on a partially scripted show, especially when you have your own producer assigned to you for what you're going to say and do on this show. It's just muddy waters. You don't have a case, and you're in no way going to win. So I always believed that he just this was to antagonize her, to harass her, to inconvenience her, to show her his power, to put fear in her. Corporations do this all the time. That's why a lot of people don't sue. A lot of people move on, especially if you don't have the money. Case in point, the McDonald's case, right? Remember that older woman who was burned by McDonald's? The McDonald's coffee. She had a really hard time, fighting that case. And I actually think that she lost it. She had third-degree burns all over her thighs. And I believe I was in an episode about this, child. I should know this. But I believe that she lost her case. And I think she was only, and maybe like got $1 or something like out of that was in the settlement or something like that. But it's because she did not have the money or star power to fight the machine, which was McDonald's. She just could not do it. And McDonald's is paying PR teams to create and write all these crazy things about her and really turn public opinion against her. It just was not a case that she could actually win. And although she had a case, she was fighting a much powerful entity, which is McDonald's. And that's what I think was happening here. I don't think that Michael was trying to win. I think he was just trying to intimidate her. And it probably worked. What do you guys think? Let's get into it. I got that super chat. Did I have any more? I got all of those. God is good. Yolanda said, what gets me is that people feel Wendy is the problem because Nneka is trying, but Nneka waited too long to apologize. Yeah, and it just seems calculated. I wouldn't accept I would accept the apology, but I just will be like, this is where we're at. I don't want to move forward with you. JG said, I think Lebe is the true one putting Nneka on Wendy, going to try to trick the girl out of her spot. Probably, and it'll probably work. It'll probably work. Miss Brown Sugar said it wasn't a smart move. It wasn't an appropriate move. It would let me know I can never trust you because you have no limits, right? If that's how you're going right out the gate, you're going after her mother. Ciao. Miss GG88 said, nobody calling my mom anything because I don't fight, but I will be throwing hands. Period. 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 Yolanda also said Giselle is so determined to get revenge on Dr. Wendy via Nneka. It blew up in both Giselle and Nneka's face. Yep. Wendy right now could just go off of this. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. She could just post it on her Twitter and eat, because my God, today they have tried. They have tried to take this woman down, and all she did was be dark and successful. Yikes. Yikes. Miss Gigi said, it's weird to me that this photo on Karen's phone is from years ago. Why bring it up now? This season is so darn dry. Absolutely. NC said, I don't blame Wendy for not going to Nneka's. It was 100% a setup. That's what it felt like to me. Neck had the home court advantage and had Levy there. Yep. They would have tag teamed her. Then Nneka would have kicked Wendy out to embarrass her. Yep. You were on it. You were on it. You were on it. It just seems like a setup. It just seemed like a setup. I'm kidding. You know, I work in Hollywood. I'm elder Gen Z. For all the geriatric millennials, put your hands in the sky. I mean, it's not me, but you know, y'all can have fun. I'm an elder Gen Z. The Opti said, Nneka's introduction on this show has shown me how we ended up. We can't work together for nothing. Crabs in a barrel. Whoever coined that term was on it about the Black community. Oh my goodness. Isn't that crazy? Like, I thought this guy made you feel uncomfortable. I thought you were scared. I thought he cornered you. You laughing about his weight? Why are you even looking his way? Why are you even in a room with him? You feel safe and comfortable now? Diabolical. He's so sweet. Eddie's so sweet. I love that couple. I will say, there's not many couples on these housewife shows that I like, because it's just like, oh, they're all so tragic. I like Wendy and Eddie. I think it's really a couple that loves each other, loves their family, supports each other. That's a nice couple. We need to have a healthy, successful Black marriage on this show. I will say, it seems like a lot of the first gen girls, the first gen Black girls, they be having the best relationship. The Black American girls got to get some points on the board. We got to get some points on the board. The Gen Z girls is not Gen Z. First gen girls are eating us up. Michiji88 said, Mia's comments about Eddie not having a job. Girl, you have a lot of nerve. Thank you. When you and your husband are jobless and damn near homeless. Ciao. Clock it. Clock it. Huguette, what's up? Said, hey, Nikki, so glad I caught it live after such a long time. Thank you for being here. In African culture, is such a big deal to live. Oh, Nneka, why would you do that? That's just not smart. Michiji88 said, the law to legalize weed in Maryland was passed recently, so they knew it was coming. It just wasn't legal at the time of filming yet. There you go. There you go. So they probably could have talked about consuming it, but still not film it though. Something is up. It's not making sense. Something is up with her whole. Maybe that's why she don't talk about it, because something is going on. The husband ain't never there. This house don't look lived in. Something is up. We never see her talking about work or going to work. And she's always talking about, listen, I gotta pull the Candiace. Always talking about having a baby, but always drinking. Something is up, y'all. Something is up. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I thought they were gone. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. These aren't my original curls. Like, my curls are much tighter, but this is as good as it's going to get. And I'm gonna hold on to these until they grow out and I can cut it. But right now, guys, when I get off of this live, I'm returning my hair dryer. When I say I'm not putting heat on my head, I mean it. It's not happening. Not happening. Missa, thank you. Let me bring it up. You're so sweet. Missa said I'm late, but I dropped it off. Did you drop it here? But I got one from Nicole VT. Nicole VT, thank you for the super chat. Nicole VT said, a request can be sent for him to pay her legal fee. Ooh, I would do it. I would do it if I was her. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. Like, listen, as for me in my house, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. But if you're going to do it, get paid nicely for it. Miss Brown Sugar said, respect to Mia and Gordon for being honest about it. So many more Bravo couples could be credible if they just admitted that they don't have some 1950s lever to be remarriage. Normally in relationships where the man is extremely wealthy or has like any kind of like money that is very life-changing, it's very clearly a relationship of convenience. Especially when there's a huge age gap. That's why on the Real Housewives of Miami, the ladies were not going up for Lisa like that. The ladies were like, Lisa, come on, this was an arrangement. You're doing all this crying over the coin. This is not about your marriage or your family breaking up. We know you ain't want Lenny. We had conversations. We know he was a trick. This is a trick that went bad. Let's move on. Larsa's like, let's get your money and move on to another trick. Or get enough money where you have to, you can live a comfortable life and you don't got to trick no more. The game is the game. Let's not play. Let's not play. That's why I cannot stand when, like, you know, women get to a certain status and all of a sudden they're looking down on sex workers. Let's keep a buck. A lot of women in relationships with men, it's sex work. It's sex work. You know, you can't talk to him about certain stuff unless you give him a crumb of coochie. Now you can have a conversation. Baby, that's sex work. Even the church try to teach that mess where it's just like, oh, your husband can't hear you if he's horny. So, you know, you got to please your sex work. Because I don't feel like banging that fool. I want to talk about the kids in school. But the church is telling me I got to give him a piece of coochie so he can now hear me. That's sex work. Because I got to give him coochie to get what I want out of him. Let's not play these games. Majority of women are doing sex work out here and you're married. Child, the game is the game. I knew she was going. I'm like, Mike, you're on a reality TV show. Y'all can't do all that suing. And a lot of people don't sue. A lot of people who sue for a settlement. They sue for a settlement. Because, like, what are you going, like, the bad press is probably going to, you know, make Bravo buckle. But it's like at the end of the day, you signed a contract. You signed a contract. I think they all do. Robin as well. You see this man living on this woman. I think I talked to you guys about this. As a dark-skinned woman, even from like middle school all the way up until like current adulthood, I used to, like, the majority of women that were jealous of me was always light-skinned girls, right? Let's keep it buck. There were dark-skinned and brown-skinned girls who were jealous of me too, because I'm just that girl. It is what it is. I'm blessed. But I used to get a lot of vitriol from lighter girls, especially lighter girls with like, one non-black parent or, preferences, right? Because they assumed I lived a certain life that they felt, and not even light skin, non-black girls too. Child, everybody had a problem with me prospering, but they assumed that I was living a life that was warranted to them. So and it's always about some guy. So if like the popular cool guy liked me, oh, it'd be such a big deal. And they would immediately try to say stuff about like my hair texture, my features, how dark my skin is, to make me feel less than and not believe that I could have the attention of somebody that they wanted. When I ain't really even like half the dudes that they was trying to put me with. The dudes, if we keep in the buck just like me, because I developed faster than everybody else in school. I'm like, we want to keep it buck. He liked me because I got titties, girl. Like, wake up. But that was like something I used to always deal with. And it would be, oh, nappy head. Oh, Miss Blackie. Oh, Miss Big Lips. It was always something to try to, take me down a notch or take me down a peg. And I used to be so like heartbroken because I didn't see myself the way that privileged people saw me, right? Like, I didn't see myself as like a Miss Black, like all those negative things, African booty scratcher. I know first gens are like Black Americans mistreated me. If you were dark, you got called African booty scratcher. The thing about it is, for me, I only got teased for a certain amount of time. Like, I think this lasted, the teasing lasted, that colorism teasing and all that stuff lasted for me. That ended at about 6th grade, because that's when I started fighting. I never really, like, I had my scraps in 4th grade, but in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, no, I chilled on the 8th. Everybody left me alone 8th grade. That's when I was like blacking eyes, picking up bricks, cracking foreheads to the white meat. And that stopped. Them people left me alone real quick. But I realized that as I got older, that same kind of disdain was still following me, right? And it was coming from the same kind of people. And it was just like, if somebody from the privileged community, if the man that they were interested in was interested in me, oh, they were going to try to give me hell. And now I'm older, I can't do all that fighting, so I just got to take some, things and find like a different way of doing it. But I said all that to say, I see it so clearly what's happening here. These light-skinned Black women are upset that somebody who is deemed an undesirable in my community have a life that they believe is owed to them. And this is just a colorism topic, right? Because we can take colorism out, right? And then we can put education in there. We can put money in there. That's what Candiace goes through. If Candiace was light, they still be eating her up for points, because she has a life that was given to her that they had to lay on their backs to get. There will always be a reason why they have a problem with these women. It's, you're darker than me, or you are a pedigree, you are privileged, you're in the same space that I am in, and I had to bang this old ugly dude that I don't even feel like banging, but I had to do it to get in this seat, and this seat was just given to you. I want to hate you for that, because I hated the way I had to get it. And instead of dealing with the way that I did those things and realizing that that probably wasn't the healthiest choice for me to make, I'm not going to deal with my mess. I'm going to vomit my trauma on you and make you feel like garbage, instead of sitting in it as a Black woman and saying, you know what, I should not be treating another Black woman this way because she's darker than me, or she has features that are deemed undesirable by our shared oppressor. I should not do that to her. But nobody will do that work. Everybody will punch down. Nobody will do the work, and that is why we're here. So those ladies can't say that we don't see what we see. We see you mad at this dark-skinned woman because she has a life you don't think that she should have. You think that you should have that life just because you're light and she shouldn't have it. And you will see it very clear as day if the treatment you were giving her was given to you by a white woman, it would be so clear to you. It would be so clear to you. But now you're gaslighting your own community and acting like it's not what it is. We see it. And ain't nobody telling me, that what I'm seeing on this show ain't colorism. Not somebody who got called Miss Blackie. No, I know what I see. I know what I see and I know what I hear. That's exactly what it is. Miss Brown Sugar said, why did that article say we may never know about it being discussed at the reunion? We'll know in a month or two. Because they don't know. That's probably why they said it. They don't know if it's going to be said or brought up. You just never know. You never know. Fritchie said Bravo actually protected Candiace in the scene by cutting out the name because they're also protecting themselves. They don't want to get sued. So they protect themselves as well. That's why Jeff Lewis talked about it on his reality TV show. He said that I think he was supposed to film on I think it was the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but he decided not to do it because he had to sign in his contract. It said that, Bravo can't get sued by anything that he says. He's like, absolutely not. He's like, I'm not going to go on this show and you're not going to protect me. So whatever I say, people are going to come for me and they're not going to come for you. Absolutely not. Why? Because you want the protection of that bigger entity, which is Bravo, right? Because when people try to come after Bravo to be like, oh my God, this is too big, I'm not going to do it. But if it's easier to come after a single person than a huge corporation because Bravo is NBC. So you're going to think twice about coming after them than you are going to think about coming after Jeff Lewis. So they're absolutely going to protect themselves and their talent because that talent is on their platform. Jose said, OMG, you answered one of the questions. Thank you so much. I never thought I'd get an answer. Oh, you're so welcome. Of course, if I see it, I absolutely get it. If I can ever work this system where my moderators can, give me questions that I don't see, I would absolutely do that. But I don't even know if that's an option on StreamYard. Yeah, she couldn't find him. Poor thing. She couldn't find him. I got that. Kai said, it's crazy that we are forced to watch GNA. Meanwhile, Candiace is at the Grammys and Wendy is at the White House. Like, I wanted to see all the community work Candiace does. That's not on talent. That's on the EPs of the show. Because if that footage was available and that storyline was available and they didn't show that to us, that's not on talent. That's on production. Beautiful couple. Beautiful couple. And Wendy has been eating. Hair, looks, makeup, outfits, eating. Kai said Ostu and witchcraft can affect marriage and other social prospects, even for her kids. Some affluent Nigerian family will make each other do lineage tests to make sure there isn't the... Oh! Child. True, Teresa. I want to get two more and then I want to move on to the next subject. Teresa said, wouldn't Michael have to prove he never touched anyone to show Candiace defamed him? That was an impossible task. Absolutely. I honestly think he just did it to aggravate her and show her his power. They do it every time. It's the easiest trick in the book. It happens all the time. Some people said, hey, Haitian hair, heard the whole song. They had rhymes too. Yep. It never came because I did anything. It came because either the attention was given to me by somebody that they like, or I was doing good in school. Like any time that they felt like I was getting above them, they had to bring me down, because just by looking at me, they felt that I was beneath them. They still can't catch me. Even I'm not even where I want to be, and they still can't catch me. Yikes. Period. I absolutely kept a brick in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle book bag. Them kids left me alone. If you crack one of them in the skull and bust their head open to the white meat, they leave you alone real quick. Then next year, they want to be your best friend. I thought you were trying to jump me. Now we besties? Okay, because you know I'm crazy. The stories that people I went to school with say, I'm like, okay, I was a child. Let's move on. Let's move on. Played in her face. Played in her face. Speaking of moving on, let's go over to our girl. It's finally happening. It's finally happening. And now that it's happened, I'm like, oh, but I get it. I understand, and I think it's time. Kandi announced at the Grammys that she, on the red carpet, that she is leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get into it. Kandi Burruss is looking to all of the blessings manifesting in her life, and that seems to include her departure from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And this is from the LA Times. The reality TV star and songwriter soft launched her career pivot Sunday while walking the red carpet at the 66 Grammy Awards. She is officially closing the door on her Bravo home, announcing her departure from the show after a 14-season run. The move came as a shock to fans of the franchise and apparently to Bravo frontman Andy Cohen. She said, I'm not really keeping up right now, Burruss told Variety. Editor Mark Malkin, I'm not keeping up. I already said it, so I'll tell you. I decided I'm not coming back this year. It's been 14 seasons, and they allowed us to sit around for a little too long. I can't believe she's talking like this. But during that time, I had started working on a lot of other things, and I got some nice big projects coming soon. So I'm super excited about those things, the Grammy-winning songwriter said. Burruss, 47, had been a Real Housewives of Atlanta mainstay since debuting on season 2 in 2009. Wow, Kandi. Chronicling the ups and tragic downs of her personal and professional life. But as the series navigates its own rocky transitions, she'll be stepping away, at least for the time being. The R&B songwriter, the escaped singer, explained that she remained with the show for so long because it feels weird to think not to do it. So she said she decided to take a break and not return for the upcoming season. Bravo's Georgia set edition of its widely popular franchise wrapped its 15th season in December and has indicated that it would change up the cast, leading many to believe it would be a reboot of the show as it did with the Real Housewives of New York last year. But the network is reportedly close to announcing a new Atlanta cast with some familiar faces slated to return. Representatives for Bravo declined to comment on Monday when reached by the Times. But Andy Cohen, who executive produces Housewives and hosts Bravo's late night show, which would Watch What Happens Live, and many Bravo reunions, gave a glowing review of Burruss's incredible run with the network. You think about how much she not only went through on the show, but brought to the show, Cohen said on Monday. When she came on, she was with her ex-fiance. He, between filming our first season and shooting the reunion, was killed. She lost him. Mama Joyce was disapproving of AJ in her first season. This was season 2 of Atlanta. It was Kandi's first season. She also, in those early seasons, did music and wrote Tardy for the Party, which has, become canon. I mean, it's just iconic to the moment. She fell in love with Todd Tucker. She brought us Mama Joyce. She brought us Bolo. She brought us the Dungeon. Come on, Andy. Bedroom Kandi, Don Juan, the old lady gang. I mean, it goes on and on. She was always very true to herself. She wanted to be the best. She has been one of my favorite people to work with in my whole time. First as an exec at Bravo, and then as an EP of the Housewives, and just, hosting Watch What Happens Live, he continued. I love how competitive she is. I love how thoughtful and smart she is. She is so strategic. She always brought her authentic self to whatever she was doing. And I'm excited also because she came into the show with her own name and her career. I mean, she's got a huge thing. Cohen also cited a 2020 letter that Burruss penned to Bravo executives during the network's racial reckoning that summer. He said she made really valid and true thoughts about the way the network could be conducting business differently and how it might be more inclusive and more positive and more meaningful. That led to a great conversation between she and the network. Bravo ultimately used that as a jumping off point for action items, and Cohen described her as a real partner. That's how someone who's like, we're in this together. We have a long history. This is what I'm seeing that's going on. This is how it could be better. And so if I didn't respect her and love her before, man, I did after that, Cohen said. I thought, wow, this is very cool. This is very impactful. She impacted not only the show, but she impacted the way we do business behind the scenes. And that is so powerful. So I think that both of us were kind of crying a little bit at the end of the call, the other day. She is one of the greats. She is one of the greats. And I want everybody to know it. So thank you, Kandi, for your service. I did tell her, I was like, Kandi, you could drop back in a year or two, he added. Burris was listening apparently and took to Instagram to thank Cohen for his kind words. Thank you, Andy. I love you, she wrote on Monday. This is how you leave a job. I think it's time. I'm actually getting very sad. I was sad when I heard her say it on the red carpet, but it's time. I always felt, in my opinion, that Kandi was just above the show. I still feel like that, right? But you do need housewives who don't need housewives, so they can make these steps. They can step away. They can do great things. They could create shows. They could be a boss, right? They could be a part of a reckoning within the industry and network that they work for. I still think that she was far too big for that show, but she made that decision to do the things that she needed to do, and it probably worked in her favor on her end, right? But I think it's time. I think it's time. Even in her own words, she said, we set too long, and she's right. The show needs to move forward. It can't move forward with the players that they have now. So I'm happy that she's moving on. I'm happy that, she's going to be resting and being a boss. The way Andy was talking, the relationship is not closed. He wants her to come back, but I think even if she doesn't come back, she's going to create shows and do more work at Bravo. The door is not closed for her to return to the show, and it's definitely not closed for her to continue to create content on Bravo. But I think she's going to do it in this way, and I think she's going to do it as a boss behind the scenes and not as a star. And I think that's great, because I personally felt like we were learning too much about her. And I don't think the general public needs to know as much as we knew about her. So I'm glad that Kandi is going back to being a celebrity and a powerhouse in her industry, and not on this messy TV show that she was far too big for when she debuted in 2009. But I think she did, when she was there, she did good. And like, even when Andy was reading off all the accolades, I was like, a lot of stuff I forgot about. She did the damn thing. She's a great housewife, but it was time. Good for her. She ate that up. What do you guys think? She did, because this is why I was shocked that she would say that, right? Because remember, not too long ago, she was just like, Bravo is taking forever giving us our contracts. Like, what is going on? And she was just like, if they wait too long, some people may not come back. I remember her saying that. So for her to be like, oh, we stayed on the show too long, I'm like, that's a really different turn from what you just said a few months ago. Whatever it is, she came to a decision, and I stand by her decision. Give Me Shelter said Kandi added a lot to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she has so many balls in the air. Taking a Bravo break is probably the best. I think her kids and Todd are going to be very happy about that. The kids are going to be very happy to have her home at least half the time. And when they have her home, there's not a camera in their face. I believe in term limits for housewives anyway. I absolutely agree. Nikki said Kandi outgrew this show a few seasons ago. Love Kandi. She's going to do some more amazing things. I absolutely agree. No. I'm still trying to get her on Potomac. She was good TV. Her and her sisters, it's a scheme that Todd set up. Good TV. Yep. She sure did. She had a great run. I agree, Josie. I'm happy to see her graduate. Absolutely. Like we might see her on oh, you know what? We might not see any more of those housewife vacation shows. That might be done. See what happens when you steal people's idea and don't pay them for it? If I EP'd that show, there's no way I would have hired drunk Brandy to be anywhere around my cast. She's a liability. Yeah, I believe so. I don't know if she's going to be like in a starring role, but I think she's going to still be like, mama, you know what I mean? An elder of that show, but I think she's going to fall back and she needs to. It's time. Like you need to rest in being a legend. You've been above that show, in my opinion. Um, Hey Chantel. Chantel said I might be in the minority, but I don't feel that sad about the departure. Kandi has shown all she has to give, and it was time to go. Yeah, you just get it's not sad like, oh, I don't want her to go. It's sad like, oh, this is graduation, but it was time. You could tell by the last season she was checked out. Yeah, she had so much stuff going on. She had so much stuff going on. Decon T said Kandi remembered who she was and said, why am I letting them make me wait? I'm booked and busy. Period. 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 So I didn't really want to give this any validation, but because Kenya responded to this rumor, I want to talk about it. So the rumor is that Porscha is returning. Here's why I think that's a long shot. Because Porscha makes more money, being the African tycoon's younger American wife than being a housewife on his show. And these ladies are going to pry and get in her business and probably mess up a really good situation. And I just feel like where she's at is the best for her. If she does come back, I'm telling you, she got the fattest check out of any housewife ever. Ever. Because she's risking so much. She will be risking so much to come back on this show. But let's talk about it. Porscha Williams returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta as Kandi Burruss exit. Porscha Williams allegedly will be making a return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 16. The source is the Neighborhood Talk. This is shaky, guys. Shaky. Because all they do on the Neighborhood Talk is lie. That Porscha is locked in for next season. The reality star, how was she locked in and Kandi just left? Neighborhood Talk, just not making sense. The reality star left the show after season 13 was announced. And then she announced her engagement to Simon Gobadia. I hope I'm saying that right. In 2021, Porscha told fans she would not be returning for season 14. After 10 life-changing, gratifying, incredible years, it's finally time to begin my next chapter. She said, next season, I will not be returning to the Atlanta franchise. This was a difficult decision to not only make, but also to come to terms with. It's one I have put a lot of thought into, and because of that, I know it's the right one. The Neighborhood Talk reported that Porscha will be joined by longtime Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore. The news of Porscha's return comes one day after Kandi announced she would not be returning for another season. And then that leads me over here to, this is from a site I will never give credit to, but their tea is always right. So it is what it is. Kenya Moore is open again to sharing a screen with her former Real Housewives of Atlanta co-star, Porscha Williams. Though the frenemies have often sparred on Bravo's reality series, Moore tells this Post in an exclusive interview that she acknowledged the impact of their highly entertaining chemistry. I think we made great TV together. I think we're the best frenemies. Some of the best times on that show have been created with me and Porscha. Kenya Moore said, some of the most iconic moments have been created with us being on screen together. So I feel like that magic could still exist if she comes back. Hold on. Moore goes on to add that casting for the forthcoming season 16 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is almost finalized. The actress predicts that the process will be complete within the next 30 days and that filming will begin in the spring. I think they're 100% focused on creating a dynamic new cast with some oldies and some newbies, she teased. So we'll see. We'll see. Season 16 just might be as sweet as you want it to be. And while Moore is holding out for Williams' return, she can't say the same for series OG Nene Leakes, who filed a racism discrimination lawsuit against Bravo Network executive producer Andy Cohen and others in April 2022. Though she dropped the suit 4 months later, Moore is certain Leakes, 56, who exited the program in September of 2020 ahead of season 13, sealed her fate. I pretty much know the door's closed for Nene. I don't believe that. I think Andy has said out of his own mouth that, he's going to keep her name out of his mouth. So I think I have to say that that's just not a possibility. Here's the thing. As a cast member, you have no idea what them execs be talking about or what moves they're going to make. They will do anything for $1. If they knew that Nene would make them money, they would bring her back, even though she filed a lawsuit against them. At the end of the day, it's all money. Y'all get caught up in your feelings. Them rich people, they sold their soul already. They don't care. They just want the coin. They just want the coin. I will say this. I don't think it would be wise for Porscha to come back. I don't think it would be wise for her to come back because there's going to be resentment because she's going to be the highest paid. And her life is very sketchy. Simon is sketchy. I just don't think it's smart for her to do that. And I don't think that she will. If she does, it's going to be great TV. Oh, she's going to give us a great season. And if Porscha and Kenya are the OGs and the rest is newbies, phenomenal season. I don't think it'll be a smart move for Porscha. That's all I have to say. What do you guys think? Let's get into it. Give Me Shelter said, why would they hire Brandy twice? Bravo was asking for trouble. Truth be told, they probably encouraged Brandy and Caroline wasn't playing those games, but you ain't hear that from me. Brandy has a drinking problem. She just does. She can't hold her liquor. Brandy gets drunk and she just becomes another person. That's it. Miss GG88 said, Kandi quit one job, but just trust me, she already has 20 more lined up. Absolutely. She stays getting a check. Absolutely. Sierra says, Kandi wrote that letter when she knew many of the cast wanted the whole cast to come together and approach the network. That's a traitor, and I'm glad she's out. That's what Nene said, but Kandi denying that. Child, who knows? Not my business. You know what? I thought the same thing too, but I just feel like she's enjoying the life, and he's enjoying having his hot, famous younger American wife. I think that's what it is. It's a good arrangement for the both of them. She's so happy. She's so happy. JG said, I hope Porscha doesn't come back. Let Kenya be the star. The people always said that she was. Yeah, me too. Miss GG88 said, I hope Porscha doesn't return. She seems happy. I agree. Give Me Shelter said, Bravo never confirmed, so I haven't liked or retweeted the story. If Porscha returns, will she be pimping another social movement for her personal gain? What movement would she pimp? Ain't no way she's stepping into Gaza. Not when Zionists run Hollywood. Ciao! JG said, Kenya will be dead set on ruining Porscha and going low. I really think Kenya is why you can't get a lot of ladies on Real Housewives of Atlanta after Kim Fields. I will say, I'm telling you, I have grown to like Kenya, especially last season made me like her. I never forgot how she treated Kim Fields. That was awful. That was awful. Yeah, she did. It was so mean. It was so mean. It was so mean and uncalled for. Asatu said, I do not like Porsha. I am not interested in seeing her back on my screen. She is the same thing she accuses Kenya of being. Hide your husband, ladies. Child, y'all not holding back. You didn't like Kim Fields? I don't think she did anything to warrant the treatment that Kenya gave her. Fareed said, I hope they bring Sheree, but if it's Marlo and her stolen fashions or Drew with her corny props, oh God. Oh God. I forgot about Drew. Not in a bad way. I was just like, now I'm just thinking of her with Porsha and Kim. We will see. I would love to see that. I actually think she can. I would love to see her as the mother hen. I would love to see it. See, that's the thing. That's what will come with it. And I think if she's financially comfortable and then some, I don't think she's going to come back. Yeah, especially if she wants to stay married to him, not smart. And that's why she shouldn't come back. That's why she shouldn't come back. I think this may be it for her. I think this may be it for Sheree. We will see. He loves the spotlight, but the ladies are going to tell their tea. And it won't look good for either of them. Don't make me cool, Porsha. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's Porsha is not smart. Stay off the show. Stay off the show. Chantel said, we need a clean slate. Let Kenya be the last woman standing on a bridge to usher in the new girls. Atlanta is a great place to find Black women who are doing big things. New cast, please. I agree. But I think if we keep Kenya, then we need somebody, another OG. Let's keep 2 OGs, recast everybody else, or just recast everybody else and no OGs. I think those are the only options. Yeah, he does. Sierra said Kenya shouldn't even be coming back. Her boyfriend was exposed as being fake at the reunion. Her jokes fell flat at the reunion. They didn't air footage of the unfinished spa. What does Kenya have to bring? I think she's delivered season after season after season. It's, she can have an off season when she's delivered as much as she delivered. But I hear you, Sierra. I hear you. Right after a BBL. Ciao. Miss Brown Sugar said, now Kenya is dead wrong for how she treated Tootie. I'm generally retweeting Toro, but she was so dirty with her she was so dirty with it in her early years. I agree. And Tanya's a sweetie. She did not deserve that. And that's true about her off camera. Juicy said, I want Kenya to call their bluff about the show and step. If Andy thinks Marlo can anchor, there's no way Marlo's coming back. I'm sorry. And I want her to be a main cast member, but she just did not deliver. She does not know how to let stuff go. She did not deliver. NEH said Drew likely not coming back. She wasn't even at BravoCon. Good for her. She needs to rest in acting. She really, really needs to go back to acting because I think that's where she shines. That's her wheelhouse. That's good money for her. And she could really build a career for herself. I could see her on a sitcom. She has the chops. Georgia Peach said Kenya was envious of Kim's career compared to hers. That's why she constantly tried to degrade her to be the star of the show to prove herself. I will agree with you there because there was no reason for Kenya to have an issue with Kim Fields. There was no other than the fact that she came to that show with a name. And Kim, just like Kandi, in my opinion, was too big for that show. I don't think she should have ever did it. It didn't work for her. It did not work for her. Miss Bertrand said, okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of tea going around about the Gabadias. Do tell, friends. Listen, Porsha, this is why I don't think it should come back. Fareed said, do you think it's going to be just 2 OGs or 3? And who would you like to see to be the third? I would only want, if they're going to keep OGs, I would only keep 2. And I would keep Kenya and Porsha if she comes back. If Portia's not coming back, then it just needs to just be a new cast. Because who is Kenya going to like? Kenya needs an anchor. So I either say bring back Porsha and have her lead the show with Kenya, or a whole new reboot. A whole new reboot. Give Me Shelter said, I think Simon liked the Bravo spotlight until Porsha tried to jump on Dennis's mom. Porsha should be ashamed of herself for that. Absolutely should be. I will say her family, that was good TV until she tried to beat up that old woman. Oh, that would be good. Oh, CM. I like that. Kenny and Cynthia. I absolutely like that. I absolutely like that. But Kenya has to be, Kenya, you have to remain loyal to Cynthia. You cannot switch up on her. You cannot switch up on her. Remain loyal, and y'all two run it. Run the show. Fareed said, to be honest, I don't know how you couldn't cast a fan of the show because it's impossible at this point, but I hope it's not a thirsty person like Marlo or Drew, just be naturally entertaining. I think there are a lot of people who probably watch the show, but are not fans. Like, no shade, I would be a great addition. I would never do reality TV, but I watch the show. I'm not a fan of the show. I know how the show works. I would absolutely go on that show and eat because I did my research, right? I know what is needed. And I know what I need to do to ensure that not only do I get a paycheck for this season, I have a higher one next season when I go in to negotiate. That's how these housewives need to be. They're too busy living in high school and wanting to be the popular girl or wanting to be the cool girl. F that. Go on a show, get your money, get your brand deals, and get your endorsements. Go after the bag. This is a job. But they come in with this high school mentality. I'm going to click up with these girls. I'm going to take down the girl that I think is corny. I'm going to try to shade and say this person doesn't have it and this person doesn't have it, instead of just being interesting. You don't have to be. I would not be the housewife that's a mess, right? I would be the housewife that's, of course, if I had money, fly. Oh, I would be showing fashions. Showing fashions, fly. Funny. My confessionals would be hysterical. I would be competing with Nene Leakes and how much media I would be able to generate from just clips being taken from the scenes that I've done alone. My confessionals, everybody will be talking about them every episode. I will be trending every episode, right? I'm leading with the fashions. I'm leading with the comedy. If I had a man, I would not bring him on the show. I would keep that man in my closet until I leave the show. Even if I show up pregnant, I would say I got a sperm donor. Y'all would never meet that man. Never meet that man. Y'all not breaking up my happy home, and I'm not putting him on this show to embarrass me. The devil is a liar. I would take you all through my my journey. I would bring a binder of guys that I'm interested in, help the ladies pick a sperm donor for me, even though I'd already been funnily inseminated by that fool that I love back home. But that would be my process, and it will always be. I will also make it extremely relatable to Black women who would do the same things and help them. And then after that show, I will work with organizations who help single Black women become first-time mothers. I will have brand deals out the wazoo. I will be first row at every fashion show. Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. I would be even at Harlem Fashion Week. I would be at the Black stuff. I would be have my team contacting up and coming Black designers. Lace me down. I would eat on that show. And I would film my scene and I would go home knowing that half the stuff that I said and did and showed on this show was not true, but it's entertaining. So Bravo don't give a damn. Because my presence alone is getting them 1 million plus viewers. They don't care that half of it is a freaking lie. They don't care that you got receipts. You can put me in an interview and ask me, "Oh, we saw you hugged up with this tall, fine chocolate guy at Whole Foods." That's my security. He holds me like that because I got wobbly ankles. Then when I get off the show in about 6 seasons, then I'll be like, "Well, guys, we wanted to keep it a secret because he's from another country." Some crazy lie I would make up, but I would absolutely eat on that show. I watch it. I know everything about it. I'm not a fan. I see half of those women out here, half the people that I talk about, child. Thankfully, they don't know me, right? When I get to a certain level, I'm absolutely going to have to start talking about something different. I'm not making things difficult for my life or my family, right? But right now, don't nobody know who I am. I see them people all the time. I don't care because in my mind, I should have the success you have. I'm just that interesting, if not more. You're lucky I grew up working class and damn near impoverished, because if I grew up with coin, girl, I would eat you alive. So for me, I'm on the same level with everybody else. I just don't have the spotlight or the coin or the white supremacy to work in my favor. But soon I would take off. So I'm not intimidated by that, right? Half these people, I'm seeing them in auditions. Half these people, I'm creating shows. You know, my sister be having me in all kinds of stuff with these people. I've met half of them. It's not a big deal. LA will do that to you. LA will make you numb to celebrity real quick. So there are people who are like me, who watch the show, know a bunch of stuff about it, but I'm not a fan. I will go in that room and eat Kyle Richards up, and I will be trending. I will be trending. And then after that scene, after Kyle cries her white woman tears, I will come back the next episode and talk about, let's do a retreat together so that we can heal our relationship. I don't care if you was crying in the last episode. That was my job. Now, this episode, I have to make up for it, right? I have to heal this wound and make this a sisterhood and move on to the next subject. And when they yell cut, I'm going home. That's the job. There are so many people who are like me who will do the same thing. It's not impossible. You can absolutely find somebody who watches the show, is not a fan, and will come here and eat. Casting ain't doing their part. Casting is very possible. It's very, very possible. I mean, but my problem is I fight and I'm attracted to men. So I can't, be on TV fighting people. That ruins my image and that embarrasses my mom. And I know if I got a man, he's going to embarrass me. He's going to embarrass me on reality TV. That's what they do. That's what they do. Right? So that's my thing. If I was a lesbian, I'd probably be a cute Philly stud, but a STEM. I would probably be a STEM. And a pacifist, I would eat on reality TV, but that's not my reality, so I can't do it. Paris said, to be honest, how can you cast a fan of the show? Because, yeah, I got that one. I meant to hit Sierra. Sierra said, they could honestly cancel Real Housewives of Atlanta. Forget all this ensemble cast stuff. I know that's right. Real Housewives of Atlanta without Nene is like That's So Raven without Raven. I hear you, but that's on Nene. Nene could have made this work. Got too big for our britches. Altavita said, hey, Nikki, I'm coming in late. Have you reviewed Potomac? Yes, that was at the beginning. Loving the curls. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. We don't know at this point, Miss Kaiser Shoje. We don't know. Rocky said, I would keep Kenya and bring on Vivica Fox to shake it up. Absolutely not. Bring in T.S. Madison? Absolutely not. Maddie runs into circles quite frequently. Kenya, the reason why I wouldn't bring on Vivica Fox is because they actually hate each other. and we would get the Real Housewives of Potomac. It would be Giselle all over again. It would just be a miserable show. T.S. Madison, absolutely not, because the ladies are homophobic. It is what it is. T.S. Madison couldn't really get the girls together because it would be like, oh, and I'm not misgendering her, but I'm saying they would dead name her or dead identity her as a way to do a get back, right? And then it would cause great problems on the show because the ladies will come after her in a transphobic way, and it wouldn't work. It's just far too risky, right? And then this audience, let's be honest, is a Black Christian audience, and the Black church is extremely transphobic, homophobic. That's Christianity in a nutshell. There is not there's no form of Christianity that you're not going to find any kind of homophobia, right? There's no form of white supremacy that you're not going to find any form of homophobia, and that's what the American Christian church is. It's a white supremacist, homophobic, misogynistic, predatory religion, right? Even being a part of it, you have to find ways that make sense to you to still be a follower of Christ and identify with such a barbaric community. It's hard. It really, really is. But that is what a lot of the viewers grew up in. So this show would not be safe. And this show and this fan base would not be safe for T.S. Madison. Because let's be honest, even if this fan base does watch T.S. Madison, they watch T.S. Madison for the tea. They do not humanize her. And this show will have to humanize her. And they will have a very hard time doing that. And it will do a lot more damage than good. So that's why I wouldn't put T.S. It wouldn't be a safe environment for her. Give Me Shelter said, Anne-Marie and Nneka are examples of fans who read the Cliff Notes instead of doing their own studying. Monica Garcia was an A student. Absolutely. I will stand by that because she got caught, probably because she didn't have an ally. I can't really speak on that, but what I will say is that for the reasons why you think she didn't work out, that's why. Say the quiet part out loud. I think what happened with Anne-Marie is that how Anne-Marie is in her real life, nobody has ever checked her. So this piss poor personality has never been checked. And she brought it on TV and it's getting checked. And it's like very hard for her because nobody has ever said anything about this, or nobody that she valued, and she didn't lose anything for being nasty. But now she's being checked on this platform because she probably exuded that nasty behavior to undesirable or unprotected Black women or women of color, right? But now she's exuding this behavior to a protected community, which is white women. So it's not working in her favor because she met her match. SW Stars Entertainment said, hi, Nikki. I think it's time for a queer housewife on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Absolutely not. We need positive representation. I would love a trans housewife like Janet Mock Caliber. Absolutely not, for the reasons that I explained before. It will not be safe for a queer person on this show. Real Housewives of Atlanta would not be safe. The fan base and the cast members would not protect her. Would not protect whoever this queer person may be. And if we keep it buck, the majority of the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast is queer. Closeted, but we know. Anytime the cameras leave, they munching each other. Like, it is what it is, right? And they'll say, oh, girls are just having a good time. Okay. You eating coochie on a regular sober, you gay, or bi, or queer as the kids call it. But they'll never say that because the show is homophobic, just like its fan base. And again, you can absolutely, pass the buck to white supremacy, but as an adult, as somebody who has free will and understanding, we should be doing better. We should be doing better. Fareed said, yes, we need to get the new elite of Atlanta, because now they just meet at Waffle House and do a cash trip and stay at a hotel. Nobody is worse than Potomac. Potomac didn't look like they got any money. I was looking at Giselle's head, and she literally had gel caked on the side of her head that she didn't brush out because she did her hair herself on freaking TV. You're doing your own hair and makeup and styling. You look a mess. You look a mess on a show that is about fashion. I always say that fashion and money are the first two housewives of all of these housewife shows, and Potomac never shows it. I wouldn't be surprised if that show gets put on pause like New York, because it's about time. He's security. I can lie better than them blogs. And I got enough money to take them blogs down. They're not going to mess with me. They're not going to mess with me. And I will absolutely turn it around and be like, well, you know, the shade room is the CIA. Come on. Don't find somebody else to play with. Drewski says, see, but that's the thing. You're interesting because you have an actual personality. So many of those silver spoon girlies are boring because they never had to be interesting. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's something about, they could be a great dude. Get them on reality TV, he's going to embarrass you. Keep that man off. If you love him and you're happy with him, keep him off of reality TV. How sad. How sad. A Zeus check from a Bravo, NBC Universal check to a Zeus check. You better meet Andy for brunch and make up immediately. CM said Madison's past behavior isn't cool, which is why Madison hasn't been on a mainstream show like that. Oh, T.S. Madison is big messy. Big messy. But she's a trans Black woman. She got to make money. She can't go to a 9-to-5. If she can sit up on a platform where she is safe and gossip and get a good coin, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. If we don't want her to do that, make spaces safe for her to be able to earn an honest living. Oh, terrible. 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 Well, it's also a show filmed in a red state, Bible Belt. Terrible. That large gay community. Homophobic as hell. Oh, I forgot about Sandia. She's not coming back, right? She's gone. Sandia's gone. I don't think she's coming back. Hey, Christina. Thank you for being here. The NNH said, at least in NYC, they have Jenna Lyons, because although New York is turning red real quick, it's been extremely liberal for a very long time. So a Jenna Lyons can thrive on that show, because like they're not big Christians on it. I don't think anybody on that show is Christian. There's Jewish people on the show, but like Christianity is not like, not saying that there aren't Christians in New York City, but it's not a Bible Belt. It's a liberal, supposedly progressive town that's vote red as hell, but that's another story. So she can thrive in New York City. Jenna wouldn't survive in Atlanta. Mm-mm. Oh yeah, that's a good check. Lifetime is a good check. That's a good check. Stay there. I wouldn't do Zeus if I was her. Absolutely. Absolutely. But they got to give, you got to give new people a chance. SW Star says, I think if we start fresh, a queer housewife could work because Atlanta has a higher queer rate. Okay, but I agree. Almost all the women on the show are in the closet. Yes. Every trip y'all go gay, get out of here. Get out of here. I don't know. I just don't know if a queer person would be safe on this show. An out queer person. Miss Kaiser Soldier said, what is it that what is they were to look up to see if you had a marriage certificate and started talking about your husband that's on the show? I will use my government, not the name that I use on the show. I'm telling you, I thought about this. It's never going to happen, but baby, I thought about this. But it's Zeus. Unfortunately, it still is a step down. NBC Universal to Zeus. Yeah, because she's Claudia, not Nene Leakes. Who basically, if we're going to be honest, started Bravo. I can't wait to watch it. I cannot wait to watch it. Let me get 3 more and then let me get out of here. I am making dinner so late. The N and the H said they tried to have the real friends of WeHo on MTV, but they weren't friends and they didn't promote it. Yeah, and the cast wasn't really likable. Sad to say, but they weren't really likable. Miss Rodriguez said Jenna Lyons is also Jen MF's Lyons, period. She has clout and influence on her own that keeps her protected, whereas an average housewife wouldn't be. Absolutely. See also Julia Villa Martina. I have no idea who that is. Men who were, I think the youngest was a geriatric millennial. That's MTV's audience. Put them on VH1 or Bravo where they should have been. Here's the thing. Even if I'm not a fan, I don't know if he released that. Also, I don't penises to me are not attractive. I have to be in love to think a penis is cute. So I don't go looking for no penis videos. That those things look like trimmers unless I'm in love with you. I don't know if I was somebody who enjoyed watching random penises, even if that was my thing, I don't know if that man put that out there. So at this point, it just looks like there is a video of him going around without his consent. So I wouldn't even engage in that if I enjoy looking at penises. I talk like a lesbian. I don't like Jesus, Nikki. Oh, Lord. But if it's attached to something, let me stop. Give me something. Said, Nikki, you talking about New York turning red or being truly a purple reminded me we haven't celebrated Philadelphia's first female African-American mayor. I was so proud of Philly. I love my city. I love it. I grew up in Philadelphia under Mayor Good. He was responsible for dropping a bomb on the Philadelphia Move members that killed seven members. A few of them were children, and one of the young women, one of the children that was killed, murdered by Mayor Good. Her body is still being held in a museum today in Philadelphia, and her family is trying to get it back. They're holding her body for science and education against her parents' will. This was all under Mayor Good. I said all that to say, F any Black person who is in a position of power that makes no change for their own people. I'm not getting excited about that African-American mayor until the way of life for the African-Americans that live in the city of Philadelphia changes. If nothing changes, she can go straight to hell with Good, Reagan, all of them. So I don't get excited about that no more. I used to, but I just don't. I'm very wary of Black people in politics. Very wary. Very, very wary. If you're not looking, if you're not coming like Stacey Abrams, boots on the ground in Georgia. Mother was making change for her people. If you're not doing that, you can go straight to hell. You can go straight. Using my Blackness doesn't work on me anymore. So I'm not celebrating her until changes are made for my people in Philly. F her until there's any kind of change. I'll take it back, but I know what black mayors are capable of. I don't trust them. Just like I don't trust the non-black ones. So until things change for Philly, the hell with her. But thank you. I love Philly, proud of Philly. But yeah. Sierra said, what would your tagline if he was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? My life may be fake, but at least I'm entertaining. Fareed said, do you think they're changing the production as well? Because I'm tired of corny editing and Potomac. It looks like it. Why do you think I'm trying to get my sister on their show? There may be a change, but Toya Star is hating. I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Drewski. Absolutely forgot. Thank you. Miss Brown Sugar said, I think part of the problem with the housewives now is this gotcha attitude of planting and bringing in dirt of housewives, family members versus letting the stories develop organically based on the interactions. I absolutely agree. I have to be in love. Like I really gotta like you to be like, oh, they're so ugly. Now, if I'm ovulating, that's a different story. If you get me on ovulation, boy, let's go. Boy, let's go. Don't let it be moisturized. I'm a different person. I'm a different person. Ciao. Give Me Shelter said, yeah, that baby's body is at UPenn. The same university that graduated generations of Trump. Absolutely. Families still fighting to get their child's body back. Evil. Evil. And that's the work of Mayor Good. Dropped a bomb on American citizens. Black American citizens. A black American man. Absolutely not. May he rot in hell for all eternity. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, that radicalized me. Move Philadelphia. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with Move. My mom was in Move, so I heard about things from her, and then I did like my own research, and then we're still connected to members of Move and the stories that they tell and the way that they're treated. Today, I've experienced their treatment. Yeah. But also just my own experience in politics and things of that nature. I don't trust them black ones. They come to you because you got the same melanin and similar struggles, just as evil, because you don't suspect them. That's why they're the worst. Because you think they're family, you think they're kin. And they're walking you into a burning house. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's why I support her. She's boots on the ground. I've seen the work. I've seen the work. I've seen the work. And people who are actually born and raised there talk about the work that she is doing. There are results from her. That's my thing. There are results. So I can support her because there are results. I've seen it. And the people who were there before me have also talked about the things that she has done. So I ain't heard nothing good about that mayor in Philly yet from my people. I can. The check cleared. But did he get his wake-up call at the Grammys? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Fareed said, what reality show concept you don't see on TV that you would like to see? I would love to. If I ever do reality TV, it would be a travel show with my family. A black travel show, and the basis of that show would be safe spaces, best places to travel if you are if you're black, or I would talk about traveling as within my identity as a black person, as a woman, as a family, within this class, things like that, because there are so many travel shows that are so luxurious and romantic. And to be honest with you, as somebody who travels, that's just not the reality. A lot of times it's family, a lot of times it's friends, a lot of times it's working class people who saved up to have this trip because this is, mental health. A part of their mental health. I would absolutely love to see something like that. Like, you don't see a family travel show. And I think that would be fun. Because I feel like everybody, because of Housewives, everybody gets caught up in the mess. And people just really want to watch a fun, feel-good show. Or I would do something like the Chrisleys, which was, in my opinion, too heavily scripted, but it was a family show. It was a family show, and we just, watched. You watched a lot of, just fun family hijinks, and then some real moments happen. But it was a show that I could watch with my whole family. I'm really into making wholesome content. I know sometimes I don't sound like it, but I'm a wholesome content person. I'm a wholesome content person. I have to go watch it. Let me get out of here. ASOS years ago. ASOS was that girl for me. ASOS was that. I love Philly. F all of them. F the leaders. F the city council. F everybody. They are literally selling my city to gentrifiers. How dare you? How dare you move out all that culture? Mom and pop shops can't stay open because you're selling the city to developers who are just going to bring in gentrifiers, who are going to, make the place unlivable for the people, for the generations of Philadelphia people who live there, for the Black Americans whose enslaved family members came to Philadelphia because it was the only free city in the United States of America and was able to live as free Black people in the United States because it did not exist anywhere else. Right. So you're moving out those people, right? Their foundational members. Then you're moving out the Italians and the Irish, and the Polish, the Vietnamese, the Chinese Americans, everybody who came here through Ellis Island. They did not stop in New York. They stopped in Philadelphia. They no longer can stay there. All these people who make up this Philadelphia accent that everybody loves, no longer will exist. And those gentrifiers will only live in Philadelphia for the time being because the city is fun until you have kids. Then you want to go to the suburbs or you want to move back home with your family so they can help you watch your children. And then we're left with all of these hideous buildings that nobody can afford, that they are now abandoned, and the city is not going to make them affordable. And all of the culture from my beautiful city is gone. F everybody in leadership over there. Unless there is a change, they can go to hell immediately. I hate what they're doing to my city. I hate it. Oh, yeah, it's awful. It's awful. I'm actually named after Nicholas Africa. Not after my father. I told you how ghetto my life is. I'm working on it. I don't know when it's coming, but it should be coming. Don't know when, but I told you I'm doing stuff. If I'm not here, your girl is working on something. Let me get out of here. Yes, I love those shows. I know a lot of them are heavily scripted, but it's good TV. It's feel good TV. We need to bring that back. Thank you. I'm bringing that back as well. I just, I'm back in the thick of it with everything. So I'm trying to get as much time as I can. I want to end with Love by You, but let me get Give Me Shelter. Give Me Shelter said, honestly, every Philly and Camden mayor have been indicted. Absolutely. Sad because Philadelphia is the nation's first capital. Yeah. So much beauty and so much culture being sold to developers. Half of them aren't even American. We're in danger. We're going to end here with Love by You. I just saw a comment and I'm like, Taylor, absolutely not. Never. Absolutely not. I ain't never running for no office. Nope. Because if you don't conform, they kill you. Look at AOC. You would never believe that she's talking the way she's talking. She in too deep. Love by You said, oh my goodness, they're gentrifying my city too. Forget the whites. Give us back our city. The constant construction, the dismantling of small businesses, and all erasing culture. Preach, yeah. The working class communities that make up the city, that make the city hot, that make the city cool. Y'all moving them out. They can't afford to live there. And then the ones that still stay get evicted, and then you criminalize homelessness, so then they have nowhere to go. Nasty work. I don't care if that mayor looks like me. You better do right by my city and its citizens. That's all I want. Sad. Anyway, I love you guys. I've talked long enough. I have to put timestamps in both of my videos, and I have to make a late dinner, which I did not want to do, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. I love you all. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow for The Bachelor. And there's one other show. Oh, and 90 Day Fiance. Love you. Oh, wait. Should I do 90 Day Fiance or Love at the Lockup? I may do both. We will see, but I'll see you tomorrow for some more content. Not sure when the time will be. I have to check my schedule to see what I have to do, but I will see you sometime tomorrow. Love you all. Thank you for joining me. See you soon for something else. Let me make sure I got all my super chats. I did. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.